I know you want to pop off in the solo cash cup and finally make your first earnings, but to do that, you need to know how to defeat any opponent you come up against in your matches. So that's why I'm going to VOD review Ping FNZ. I think he's usually named Pings. So you can learn from his fighting and how he defeats nearly every opponent he comes against, and he nearly even won 3 matches in a row that you can see here. Alright, let's get it. Because Ping's loot is so bad, he comes down into this vault to try and get better loot, but then the other player gets really aggressive and pushes him. See, the smart thing that Pings does here is he uses the Flowberry Fist to bait the opponent into the pickaxe swing and insta edits and hits him. So when you're fighting a player, trying to think ways you can outplay him and trick him. So the way that Pings tricked him there is he pretended to, it's a classic play we've all done before, but just reminding you, he tricked him by faking out the Flowberry Fizz and forcing him to take out his pickaxe and insta editing and then resetting it once he got that first shot off. But I must say to be careful. If he actually used that Flowberry Fizz, the other fella could have easily killed him, because there's a delay when you use consumables like Flowberry Fizz, crash pads, things like that. Switching from them to your shotgun in fights and stuff there's a delay, so be careful also when using those consumables. Something I noticed with good players like Pings is when they're fighting, they are not afraid to reset it. He opens, he shoots his shot, and then he resets it. And the reason why they reset it is to give your shotgun that few milliseconds so it can shoot again, because obviously it's not like an AR. You can't just keep shooting a shotgun. It needs like a breather. So that's why they reset it. It makes them not in the open ready to take damage. So when you're fighting, make sure to be aware of, especially when you have a pump, be aware of shooting, resetting. And like not only is because the shotgun needs a breather. Let's say you have a gatekeeper that can shoot very quickly. If the opponent isn't surprised and he could very well turn and max pump you, there's no harm in hitting the shot, resetting your wall, so then he hits your wall and then you shoot back, or you edit it again and shoot back. In fights, it is your best interest to not take damage. So yes, you could keep the wall open with your gatekeeper, shoot him, and let him shoot you once, because he's going to eventually, you are going to get shot once if it's a decent player, and you box him just the way like Pings did there. But if you take damage like that, a third party can come in and win the fight a lot easier. So that is why it's kind of like nuanced of what you do in that scenario. In the next fight, we actually see Pings take on one of the best players in the world right now, and that is Chap. And this is actually a really nice angle he has here with the staircase. He's surprised him, jumps, shoots him. Really good play, but because Chap is such a good fighter, he knows he has to get a defensive shot off. So that's a really smart play from Chap, is to not be afraid to predict the player and get the defensive shot off, so then you can also go get your heals off. Now what Pings does good here is he gets space, because you know when fighting you want to have a box to work with, but Chap then goes onto his wall, pressure with his AR. Ping does a good job there, quick edit to get a shot off, because he knows Chap wasn't going to be ready. And you know, when pros are fighting each other, it definitely is different, because it's just such quick fighting, and a lot of it is taking different angles and just seeing who's better aim, because obviously both their mechanics are going to be so good. But that was a great shot that Pings got off here. He knows Chap is on the back foot, and he probably knows he's a really good player, so he's playing really aggressive. With the nitro, that helps a lot. He does a nice nitro play here, but constantly he's looking at where is Chap moving to try and predict him and surprise him. Here goes for the piece control. There's a really nice side jump. Already has his crosshair in the right place to shoot Chap and take him out. So yeah, what Pings did there was, you know, there's a few things to learn. The angle with the staircase he did really good. He made him a space with by boxing up. Chap did really good. His first play was being on the defense and getting that defensive shot off when Pings wasn't going to expect it. Another thing that Pings did good there was being ready for the phase in, hitting the shot again on the defensive, putting Chap under pressure. And then lastly, Pings did a good side jump, had his crosshair in the right position to shoot Chap. The interesting thing about this next fight is not the absolute beam that Pings gets here is because what he does after it. He gets this player to about 6 HP. He does try and get the kill, but then the player gets away, and what surprised me is he leaves him. I think the reason for this is, the part of endgame it is, and maybe he heard that third party nearby, and he just decided he's not going to get into that mess, especially in endgame where more third parties can get involved. He says, I'm playing for the win, I am trying to get some kills, but I'm going to rotate up on the high ground, not get in a sticky position with third parties. I have enough loot. And yeah, really smart play. In these solo cash cups, you want to be able to defeat all the opponents you can, but sometimes it is best to rotate away, which can lead you to killing more players because you don't get scuffed from a fight that you shouldn't have taken, or third parties don't mess you up because you avoided that fight. So it is important to remember, you don't have to take every fight. Now, I'd say one thing, it's always about the situation. If Pings had like 0 mats there, he had that guy 1 HP, but then he should really have forced the fight and made sure he got the loot. But obviously, he's in a good situation, he has loads of mats, instead of getting scuffed, he's now put himself on high ground, so he can go into this end game a lot better. This next tip isn't really a fighting tip that I learned from watching Pings here, it's more of a tip that will stop you getting beaten by opponents. See, everyone's close to each other here now, and like a lot of players, Ping, he could be looking around trying to get more kills, but his box just got destroyed and it needs to gain back its strength. So what he actually does here is he's constantly looking at the other players really close to his walls, because it's happened to all of us. We've got distracted, started shooting at some random opponent, and guess what happens? Some guy, he destroys your wall and sneaks in and kills you. So to prevent that, Ping, he's looking around his walls and he's being very spatially aware, which stops someone from sneaking in and killing him. So then he can go on to get into more fights here and get more kills. Something that Pings does here that I actually learned another pro did in my last video, if you go watch that after this video, but it's looking for height. To get wins in these solo cash cups and to defeat your opponents, you have to be looking at height near the stage of the end game. So, no matter what his situation is, it's probably his best. He's staying high. Even before this, Ping was staying on a high elevation. So nowadays, at this stage in the game, he can just look up and shoot or try and kill the other guy in height. Because if you don't get that win condition on height, you will not win the game and be the last man standing. So then here, moving on from that point, he's being really aware. I guess there was a replay bug there. He was popping a medkit, getting his heals up. So which is smart. He's good, but he's not. He's good, but he's not cocky. Just because he's good, he's not gonna keep fighting on 0 HP. He's gonna get his time, make his box, and heal up. There, great crosshair placement and timing. Gets in his box, keeps it crosshair high, and hits a really good headshot. Here again, he's not going around jumping into boxes. He's trying to stay ahead on zone, and yeah, he did a good shot there, but he's not going back fighting. Something I learned from playing is getting your refreshes is important, but get them in the head of zone, because you get them on backside, you're scuffed, some other third party jumps in who's scuffed. What Ping does well here is he gets his refreshes on front side, and right now he's staying front side. He has mats. He's constantly looking for more refreshes, wiping the opponents that could possibly take the win from him. It's a win-win. There, there's not really much stuff from this, it's just a reaction. But now he knows win condition, look up at what height's doing, because if height has gone under the radar this entire time, he's going to have all the medkits, he's going to be stacked, and Ping won't be able to win. He does a lovely retake there to get the fight. In this situation, it's kind of just mechanics, Yeah, she messes up there, bad aim, makes it to 50-50. Kind of looked like he gets the win there, but, he had his aim. He deserved the win though, because he went for height, he knew the win condition. If he just stayed and played heal off, he could have lost it if height was stacked. Really well played. I hope this video you can learn a lot from Ping, like as much as I did, and go on to do good in your solo cash cups.